Devin, you guys taken a bunch of games lately. Is there the expectation he'll start again?
Levi will start tonight.
A couple other lineup questions. Mason Youngs and Tessa Kozak, they each missed the last 3 games. I think for different reasons. Is there an update on those two?
Yaps is back. Kozak is out.
Clegg also coming back in?
Clegg will be back in.
What's when you look at Levi now at this point? I mean, how beneficial do you think it's been for him to get this kind of going at this level?
Yeah, I think that for any young player at any position, but certainly in goal, there's only one net, and so sometimes, depending on the situation, if you're splitting in the American League or the NHL, that can be a good situation. But when Oopie's on the run, he's on up top. He's going to be taking the great bulk of the games, and so it just makes sense for Devin then to be here, getting 75-80% of the starts, which is just really good for him to have this experience, be with his teammates down here, and have the pressure of trying to lead us into a playoff race.
You talked about Buffalo. I want to ask you about Woodcroft for a second, because he got in the lineup yesterday, the first time since November in the NHL. What has he done since then to improve his?
Well, it's not just since then, because I don't think there's these stops and starts in players' development. I think it's a long process of slowly, gradually chipping away and getting better. So Rusek, when he showed up a couple years ago, really talented playmaker, wasn't a great forechecker, wasn't great defensively, but made tons of plays. And he still's got the offense, and his offense has grown. But now he hunts pucks harder. He's more physically engaged. He can penalty kill. He can check, and all of those things are things you have to do to be a bottom 6 in the NHL. And the reality is, most guys are going to be bottom 6. It is really hard to take top 6 jobs, even for the most talented players. Those jobs are usually owned by players for decades, and they just don't come open very often. And so for players to have the opportunity to get called up and stay up, they need to be able to do those other things to be able to then show they're skilled enough to be at that level.
And this level, you guys had a rare week where there was not a Wednesday game. For you to be in March and get a full week of practice, how beneficial is that?
Yeah, the practice is beneficial because I think we practiced as many times this week as we had in the previous 4 weeks combined. So, because we, that 7 and 11 and afternoon games and, long bus trips and those things just didn't allow for any practice time. So it was good to get some practice reps and some habits back in that regard. But probably even more importantly, it was good to take a breath physically, because the 7-11 led right into another 3 and 4 with travel. And so just to be able to take a step back and breathe, even though we're in a 3 and 3, I probably would have traded a 3 and 3 for not having a Wednesday game this week, because it just felt like it was the right time for us to take a breath.
We're traded NHL trade deadline now, AHL trade deadline in the league. Is this time of year a little weird for you, just with looking at your lineup and things can change and looking around?
No, because that's the American League every day. So the American League every day, your roster changes. I mean, very seldom do you go more than a week without roster fluctuation. Guys getting called up, guys being injured, guys getting sent down, whatever it is. So no, really, it's not any different. There's different circumstances that might lead to it because trades, but from a coaching perspective, not knowing what your roster is going to be tonight's game is very similar to a day-to-day experience in the American Hockey League.
You guys are playing Syracuse tonight again. I think last time we talked to you, you mentioned how your team last year wasn't good enough to beat Syracuse this time. They got better because they wanted to. What areas should your team want to get better at to beat?
Well, they're an excellent team. They have a really good lineup right now. They're a really heavy, old, strong, physical team. Great team defense, really good goaltending. And then now you've now added Barbalet back into the mix for them, who's the most talented player in our division. So they got tons of weapons, well coached, really structured. And, for us, like I said, I don't think at this point last year, I don't think we could have beat them in a best of 5. And even the first 2 games in the playoffs last year, we showed that we weren't ready to beat them. And then we decided to, dig in. We've got to increase our level of physicality against them. We have to win more puck battles. If you don't, winning puck battles is one of the most important skills you can have as a player. It doesn't matter how talented you are if you don't have the darn puck. And there's been too often against them that we've played really good. Like, we've played good hockey against them. And there's been some games in our building, we've held them to 14, 18 shots on goal. We're up 2-0 last game, but we haven't had the puck enough. And we're losing too many faceoffs, too many puck battles. And we need to increase that. We need to increase our level of physicality on them to force more turnovers, to try to catch them in moments where they're out of their structure.
Delfer, do you have anything?
Yes, sir. Hi, Seth.
Hi, Delfer.
Just to the last point, how if you start a game and you don't feel like you have that, puck winning battle mentality, how do you try to adjust on the fly and kind of reinstill that? How hard is it, especially when you've seen this team over and over and over?
I mean, you can yell at them. No, I mean, I think that this needs to come within. It's, as a coach, I've challenged them, about it. This needs to be an area of growth of our team. We're a younger team. We're not built with size. That is what it is. But the game doesn't care. Like, it doesn't care if their D 6'4", 220 pounds and our guy's 5'10", 165. It doesn't care. Just win the day in battle, and find a way. And so, our guys need to increase their, probably like their second and third effort on staying on those pucks, and being the smaller guy needs to be more relentless in terms of like a Brad Marchand is, in terms of hounding and hunting the puck. The advantage of the smaller guy is he's quicker. He can be more nimble in those areas. The puck can squirt to the side of a puck battle, and you can win that race and cut the guy's hands off. If you just stand there up against the wall, the advantage goes to the 6'4", 220-pound defenseman. So we need our more mid-sized forwards to use the adjutants that lies within them. And we've done it before. That's the only reason we won in the last 2 years in the playoffs, is we were able to get to this spot. And against this team, we're going to have to raise that.
And what are you most encouraged by at this point in the season that, leads you to believe you can have a strong finish, and then who knows what when the playoffs begin?
I think, one is the group that really, really plays for each other and cares about each other. And that takes time. And we've had that the last 2 years, and it's taken time the last 2 years. And it takes time again this year, because it's a new cast of characters, and there's guys up and down and all over, and there's guys that want to be up in Buffalo and aren't. And there's all of those things you got to work through in the American League, especially, to then become a team that plays for each other, not just with each other. And I think we're at that spot now, which is really good to see. I think there's also, from our veteran players, there's a steadiness to, we've been in this spot or worse the last 2 years. We are battle tested. Our guys that have been here for a few years, we have went through this and worse before and come out on the other side. And so there's a confidence that you've gained from going through things like that and coming out on the right side of it. And then I think that over the last 30 or 40 games, our team defense has just increased dramatically. And our defensive numbers as a team won't ever look good over a season, because the first 15 games were so poor that way. But now there's been, almost night after night that our 5-on-5 team defense, our penalty kill, the chances we're giving up far less A scoring chances and giving up far more C scoring chances, which then gives our goaltenders a chance to show who they are because they're not being barraged with A chances.
And with Rusek not being there, do you see other players looking at that as a big opportunity, like to take on kind of his role? Because obviously we see it at the NHL level all the time, right? So you think, oh, this person can come up and fill a role or whatever. What's it like within your group?
I guess yes. The easy answer to that question is yes, but it happens so much here that it doesn't feel abnormal. Jost was up a couple weeks ago, and then Rusek's up, and there's been other times that Byro's been up, or Cooley was up, or Rosie was up, or Cooley was at the World Juniors, and so it just feels like it happens so much in the American League that it's not like, oh, this is my only chance and I have to seize it, right? But when guys like Rusek or any one of those other top guys go out, it does free up more ice time. I think Victor Neuchev last Wednesday against Syracuse had 18 minutes, and so, you want to seize those moments as a young player and show that I need to put them in more of those moments.
Very good. We'll see you tonight.
Thanks, Duffer. Good. Thank you.